tell us what we can do to support you as one of the singular voices that is on the same page as all of us are. There's a new CNN is reporting on a new poll saying 55% of the American public support the public option. You're absolutely right. What can people listening right now do to help you go back in there next week, you and John Conyers and everybody else, have enough leverage to either push single payer through or enough leverage that we end up somewhere between single payer and public option?
Well, the first thing I would say to my friends on the left is that we have to not be afraid of our own shadow here. You know, the right has done a pretty successful job of branding single payer as something for citizens to be afraid of. So the first we've got to do is we've got to brand single payer again. You know, I'm written an op-ed for Huffington Post that hopefully will be out in the next day or so, you know, entitled Taking a Second Look at the Single Payer. The idea being that in many ways, a lot of Americans realize now, as they've looked at healthcare hard for the first time in a while, that the government option that we have is something that's pretty popular, and we should try to emulate it. The second thing that we have to do is we have to strengthen our friends as well as lobby our enemies. You know, a lot of my colleagues, and I won't name names, have come up to me and growled. They said, Weiner, we've been telling people for years we support single payer. We never thought we'd actually have to vote for it. Well, now they do. You know, so if you've been writing your member of Congress and they've been telling you what you want to hear, that they support a single payer, we need them to vote for it when the time comes. And so that's important as well. And we also have to do one final thing. I believe this is a constitutional structural problem with the way we function on the left. We have so much fidelity to the truth that we don't do what the other side does, just go make things up whole hog. But that doesn't mean we don't have to join in rebutting some of the lies that are out there. I think you've probably noticed from your calls and from your conversations with people look at Medicare through two different lenses. If they've got it, they love it. If they don't have it, they think it's some kind of a terrible program that's bankrupting the country and can't pay its own bills. In fact, we have to make sure that people who don't have Medicare, go talk to their parents, go talk to their grandparents, go take a look at that. We have a financing problem without a doubt in Medicare, but we have it in private insurance as well.
Right.
We have to get that case made. And we should not be, to get back to my first point, we should not be ashamed to be making the case for single payer, because right now I think we've done a better job messaging our bill than the president has of messaging his.
Are you talking to the White House at all?
Well, they haven't been terribly happy with me the last few days. I can say this, that I've made it pretty clear to them that if they draw the conclusion that the reason we're the majority party is that a lot of conservative Democrats voted with us, I think that they're losing sight of the fact that the reason those conservative Democrats and Republicans alike supported President Obama is because they get this issue of health care. That I believe the fiscally conservative position to have is the one that you and I have in favor of payer.
Right.
And I've made that argument to them pretty loudly. And tomorrow, on Wednesday, when the president comes before Congress, I'm confident that he's going to dig in his heels and say, look, there are some lines I'm drawing in the sand. One of them is that we need a public option, and when that happens, I'm going to charge up that hill with him.
And I agree. Now, just one other question: this trigger thing that's also being floated out there now, whether it's true or not, is coming from the mainstream media. Didn't the House? Didn't you all already pretty much debate that trigger issue and throw that out in the House?
Well, I even look at it differently. I think we, in a way, adopted a trigger. First of all, H.R. 3200, that's the bill that many people that we're all basically talking about. I mean, there's a lot of different out there. Year one of the bill is the year 2013. Then there's a 5-year grace period that, before the steps that tighten up insurance go into place. So you have basically a 10-year grace period already for the insurance companies to get their act together. It's not as if when this bill passes, the public option would become law tomorrow. It wouldn't come law until about the year 2015. So the idea that a trigger, it might be an interesting political device, but the insurance companies showed any interest in holding down costs believe me, my friend, they would have done it before now.
Yeah,
and in every instance where cost-saving things were asked for by the insurance industry. Like, we hear our Republican friends talk about tort reform all the time. We have 36 states in the union that have tort reform, meaning caps on the amount that people can take in lawsuits. 46 states. Not a single one of those states did insurance rates go down. In Texas, where they have some of the toughest tort laws in the nation, rates have gone up some of the most of any state. So it's a lot of this is smoke and mirrors trying to buy the insurance companies more time to justify their existence. I, for one, believe they've had plenty of a chance to show their worth, and they've yet to do it.
Congressman Anthony Weiner, representing Brooklyn and Queens in New York, folks, has been our guest. Look, man, please keep in touch. People here are ready to be mobilized if necessary. We're ready to go to the streets and commit nonviolent civil disobedience in support of single payers. So
I appreciate it. And anyone who wants to go sign up at my Facebook page, that's where we put a lot of updates legislatively on this. It's Anthony Weiner, Weiner. I appreciate you having me on.
Okay, let's keep in touch now, okay?
Got it. Bye-bye.
Take care. Congressman Anthony Weiner in the 9th District, Brooklyn and Queens. Fascinating. This is MIP.